Welcome everybody back to Boost Emotion, guys. And today, shout out to my whole Infiniti Nissan gang. I really appreciate you guys and thank you guys for showing your support. But today we're gonna talk about it. If you got an Infiniti Q50, Q60, or even Nissan Z VR30, we're gonna talk about in this video. Stop overflowing and over putting too much coolant in your reservoir tank. Guys, let's go. Let's jump right into it. We're not going to do any intros because I'm still working with new software. So first thing, shout out to my boostinmotion family. I know you guys have already hit the like button. So thank you guys for your support. But this person, they might follow me on IG. They may not follow me on YouTube. Brandon. So guys, I need help. Ever since I got my Q50, it spits out coolant through the overflow tank, and I've had to burp the system and add some more. Well, the last few times I didn't add coolant. I added water because I was stuck on the side of the road on multiple occasions where all I had was water. Cool. First mistake. I understand the necessity of your coolant running low, but you're adding water, which is necessarily not a really good thing because it is corrosive and you're pretty much adding to metal components. It's not a really good thing, but I understand you did it in a budge. With that being said, the temperature dropped to 5 degrees, so I'm assuming 5 Fahrenheit, and all the water in the coolant system froze. And that was a few days ago. So now that the temperature is in the mid 30s, I also verified that the block wasn't cracked and neither was the radiator. Hopefully, I don't know how you verified that, but I'm happy everything's okay. Cool. I left all the water in the rad, drained it out, and tried to bleed it again, but the car was not budging this time. It was just spitting out coolant, and then after the steam from the radiator, my guess is the heater core still has frozen water in the lines. Should I wait for it to thaw it out some more, or would a coolant flush help? Also, I know it was stupid mistake that I beat myself up about. It's enough not to hear from y'all too. Anyways, so guys, let me just give you guys my honest opinion about it, right? First thing, I think it's a common mistake, man. I think he did what he can specifically do to be able to protect himself. Like, I get it. People already have the laugh out loud stuff. Let's cover that. Um, Listen, guys, once again, I'm be very honest. First, the car looks like it's super dope. If you have a VR30, do not. It is common knowledge. Do not, repeat, do not put it up to the maximum level for the coolant reservoir. Do not. The reason being is specifically on these cars, for some reason, I've owned a good amount of cars already. Once you start driving this car, that coolant starts to expand, of course, because it's getting hotter. But then the level starts going up, I guess, with the added pressure. And it always spews and leaks. It's like the VR30 always does this for the overflow tank. Overflow, whatever tank. It always spills out. So be very careful on putting it at maximum. And I'm telling you to add the coolant when the car is cold in the morning. Keep it at minimum. Yes, just minimum, not maximum, minimum. You're going to realize once you drive, it's always going to start coming up and going down. Some people would sit there and say, well, there must be some air in the system. That's why it goes up and down like that. No, I've had enough of these vehicles. And what we realize is it'll just come up a little bit with added pressure and heat and go down a little bit. There's no vast, big, huge difference. If it's coming from minimum to overfilled and spraying out, there's something wrong with your system. Secondly, some of you guys, small percentage, and I mean a percent of a percent, because I don't want you guys go taking what Boost said and says, oh my God, there's something wrong with my car. Some of you guys have been adding coolant more into your reservoir tank, and you're like, what's going on? You just think that the car is just doing what it's doing, whatever. Some of you guys actually have a leak, or you have a hidden coolant leak somewhere in your vehicle. We do call this issue porous block. You can look on my channel. We have spoke about this. And in this case, from what it sounds like he was actually possibly having a porous block leak in his car this whole time. Because he said he kept on having to add water to the system or coolant to the system, which is very weird. Or he said it's spraying out. So either he's overflowing it and it's spraying out, and then he's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So he just sounds like a typical mistake. But if this was an issue where he continued to, excuse me, guys, add more coolant or add water because he said it was in a pickle, which definitely throws me off, then it lets me know that he may have a deeper issue than he really thinks. And once again, if If you have a deeper issue and your coolant is mysteriously going away, it's not going away, it's not under the car, it's not in your oil, mixing with the oil, making it milky. You're just like, after a month of driving 1,000 miles, I have no coolant in my reservoir. Let me add a little bit more. You do it again, you do it again. You kept on having to do this every 2 weeks to a month. Yes, you may have a coolant leak internally in the motor where it's eating it through the combustion chamber or somewhere there and it's coming out the exhaust. That's called porous block. So guys, if you have those issues, definitely look into it. Take your time. Sometimes it's very minimal. I've known because I am the Q50, Q60 guy on YouTube. I've had plenty of people come to me. I would probably say at least 50 to 100, I would say 70 to maybe like 90 people came to me talking about this issue. But this is in the last 5 years, and I'm just a YouTube guy. I'm small percentage. Remember, Infiniti made a lot of these cars, so it doesn't mean that a small percent of a percent may not have these defects with the car on a perfectly stock VR30 or a full-fledged tuned one with pure turbos running E85. We still don't know what this issue may be coming from. At least no one has torn apart a VR30 yet with this issue just to see where it may be. And hopefully in the future, some people could get their hands or take the time to actually separate the block and see maybe the head gasket went bad. It is a turbo vehicle. You're forcing air into a motor. Heads can lift. And if the head is lifting, some of that oil may be seeping into the combustion chamber. We just need someone to take the time out and properly diagnose it. So otherwise than that, guys, I really appreciate you guys for your support. Hopefully this video you found it to be informative. Guys, don't add water to your coolant. I get it, but just if you're doing it as a pickle, I get it. But understand where you live. If you're in Florida, this may not have been that much of an issue. But if you live in like Chicago, New York, and any cold area, he could potentially really had screwed himself, crack the radiator, crack the hoses, and even possibly crack the block. If it gets solid, that frozen ice gets in there, it could really just technically separate some parts of the motor and it will start leaking coolant because water expands when it freezes. And bolts may be tight but not tight enough. So, guys, I really appreciate you guys. You can add me at boostinmotion on IG and Facebook. Also, you can send me an email at boostinmotion@gmail.com. Otherwise than that, hopefully, guys, I earned your like. Hopefully, you watched those ads. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Guys, have a good day. Thank you.